Hey guys, today we are going to be talking about, if you didn't already realize from the title and or thumbnail, about working at a radio station. It's always funny when you're talking to someone new, when you're having that whole awkward conversation, breaking the ice and getting to know each other. Usually one of the first questions that comes up is, what do you do for a living? And I always get a kick out of it every time I have to tell people that I talk on the radio for a living. It's funny to see the reaction that people give, and people always ask the same questions. Anytime I'm meeting someone new, I'm always answering the same questions. So that's what we're gonna do here today. I'm gonna answer some frequently asked questions about working at a radio station. So usually one of the most popular questions that I get from people is, do you get to pick the music? And the short answer is no, I don't get to pick the music. There's so many people that it takes to run a radio station. It's not just the people who are on air, there's so much that goes behind it. I think in my building that I work in, there's probably close to 100 people that work there, but we have 3 radio stations and a TV station in our building. There is a music director who chooses the music that goes on the station, and this person will organize it and kind of strategize where all the songs go to make sure that there's no like 2 Justin Bieber songs in a row and all of that stuff. So there's a lot of strategy that goes behind the order of the way that songs are played and what songs are played what way and how many times and so much like that. So there's actually a lot that goes into it. I could go on and on, but I won't bore you. So technically no, I don't get to choose music, but if somebody does request a song, I can throw that in, or if there's a song that I like, sometimes I just sneak that in. So yeah. Another question I get is, do you get to pick what you talk about? I have to choose 100% of the things that I say. It is completely up to me. So I go into the studio, I usually get there about like 2 hours before my show, maybe an hour and a half, to kind of browse the internet, figure out what's going on that day, what people are talking about, what crazy thing Miley Cyrus has been up to, and all of those things. So then I'll kind of put together what I want to talk about and have an idea of where I want my show to go, and hopefully be some sort of entertaining to the people that are listening. I try. Another question that I get is, are you alone in the studio? Yes, I completely do everything myself, especially me. I do nights and weekends. So when I get to the studio, there's usually no one even in my building. I have the whole studio to myself. I run the board, I press all the buttons, and I control all the monitors and everything like that. So it makes it a lot of fun and really exciting, and sometimes horrifying when I mess something up. Sometimes people ask me how I got into radio. I went to school for it. I went to school in Niagara Falls, Ontario. Shout out to my homies. So after I went to school, I did an internship at a radio station, and then I got a job at another radio station, and now I'm working at this radio station. So it's been like a long process, and it can take a lot of work, especially if you're new in radio. You gotta really like fight your way through it and work your way up. A big thing people always assume is that when the music's playing that I'm just like sitting there like twiddling my thumbs, like literally just sitting there and doing nothing. That's not true. That's a little bit true sometimes, but no, that's not true. So a lot of people ask, what do you do when the music is playing? Because you only talk a certain amount of times an hour. Typically what I'm doing is I'm answering texts that people are texting into the station. I'm answering phone calls. I'm updating social media, because that's a huge part of radio as well as social media. So I'm updating Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I'm messaging people who are messaging us online, and kind of figuring out what I want to talk about next, putting together phone calls, everything like that. Since I work at a top 40 radio station, a pop station, people are always like, why do you play the same 4 songs over and over and over and over? And I will try to get into this without being too long and boring of an answer for you, but this is kind of what I've gathered from working in top 40 radio on why we play a lot of the same songs over and over. A big part of it is because the average radio listener only listens for what I think is about 8 minutes at a time, and even if you're in your car, you probably do this, I do this too. I'm constantly switching through the dials and I'm wanting to hear like one of my favorite songs at the time. So for top 40 radio stations, a lot of the time they'll play those same super popular songs a lot, because those are the songs that people want to listen to, and those ones are the songs that people are browsing through their numbers trying to find. So if we play Adele over and over and everybody wants to be listening to Adele, then the chance of having a listener stay on our radio station longer is bigger, because we're playing that song more often. So I hope that kind of makes sense to you. That's pretty much what I've gathered. I could be a little bit off, but that's kind of what I've learned from being in radio for the last couple years. Plus, I would listen to Adele over and over on repeat. She's glorious. She has the voice of an angel. Sometimes I get the question, do I enjoy what I do? I honestly can't even put it into words how much I love my job. Sometimes it doesn't even feel like a job. I go into work and I go onto TMZ right away and I'm reading all that stuff and I'm like, yeah, I'm getting paid to do this. I get paid to read about celebrities and all that stuff. And pop culture is a huge passion of mine. I love movies, I love actors, I love that whole Hollywood stuff. I talk about it too much, my friends get so annoyed. So the fact that I can work in a career field that goes hand in hand with all of that, I couldn't imagine doing anything else. So yeah, I hope that answered some questions. If you were ever curious about what it's like to work at a radio station, if you have any questions about being in radio or more questions about what I do for a living, feel free to ask me any questions in the description below, in the comments below. I will be happy to answer them for you. I love my job, so I love talking about my job, and it's a lot of fun. If you want to listen to my show, I'll put all the links for everything in the description box below. And you can also follow me on Snapchat, because when I'm working, I like to take a lot of Snapchat videos. So I'll put that actually right here. You can follow me on Snapchat here. Hey, and while we're at it, you can follow me on Instagram and or Twitter, right here. You know you want to. Right? Okay, thank you guys so much for watching. Tell your mothers I say hello. Ooh, that sounded weird because I didn't say moms. Tell your mom I say hi, and I will talk to you guys all next week. Bye!